Joe
Okay,
and
no
Sarah.
problem. Hi.
Hi. So whereabouts in the world are you at the minute?
We're in, sorry. Sorry. Joseph's trying to eat the screen, one of the donkeys. We're in Hartlepool.
Hartlepool. Cool. And who have you got there with you?
This is Teddy,
Okay.
trying to have a cuddle.
Try and keep
And
the camera
you see
still
him
on.
there.
Try and keep the camera like still, and then I should be able keep it still.
I'm moving back a bit. Move back, Teddy. He's in the light. It's because he's wanting a cuddle, so he's like.
Oh, bless
Money.
him. So that's Teddy
But
there.
Teddy is our miniature Mediterranean donkey.
Okay.
And the donkey next to him here, that's his best friend, Joseph, but he's a standard donkey, so he's a lot bigger.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
And they used to having their pictures taken, so they put their nose in the camera when they see cameras. They know what's going on.
So how old's Teddy?
Teddy's 3 years old and Joseph's 5 years old. So both quite young for donkeys. Donkeys can live into their 40s.
Can they really?
Yeah, so a really long time. If they're well looked after, yeah, which these boys are, so hopefully we'll have them for a long time yet.
So have you had them since they were babies?
We've had Teddy since he was 6 months old, and Joseph we bought as a 3-year-old. He couldn't be licensed as a ridden donkey until he was 4 years old. So we just kept him for a year and it gave him a chance to settle in with the group and get to know us and that kind of thing.
So how many donkeys do you look after?
We've got 5 in total. We've got 4 standard ridden donkeys, that's the normal size donkey if you like, and 1 miniature Mediterranean donkey, which is Teddy, who keeps, popping in the side there.
Yes, so like
he has a separate license from our other donkeys.
Right.
Teddy has a performing animals license because he doesn't come under law in terms of being ridden because he's so small.
Yeah.
So he has a separate one and he's licensed separately to the other boys.
Oh, bless.
As you can see, he likes to be in the shot, don't you? He's a licensed therapy donkey, so when he's not attending parties and weddings and other special occasions, he mainly goes to care homes and dementia centres, play groups and hospices, that kind of thing.
Together or separate?
Other than you. Yeah. So when they're turned out in the field, the donkeys all go out together. When they come indoors, they are stabled in at least a pair. So at least 2 donkeys together, and we have a really large stable that 3 can go in together. Donkeys are really social animals, so we'd never keep one of the donkeys on their own. They must always be with a friend. Yeah.
And so if you could pick a breed of dog that would represent his size, what would it be?
Probably an Alsatian, maybe.
Okay. Oh, that's quite small.
Yeah,
well, you can see how dog, but it's a small donkey.
So not huge.
Oh, bless.
Not huge. How small he is there.
Oh, he looked
fully grown.
Bigger in the video. So I was just
trying
to make an idea.
If I stand next to him here, I don't know if you can see, he only goes up to sort of his withers, which are where the end of his mane goes, is sort of halfway between my knee and hip. You can see how small he is right down there.
Oh, does Teddy ever go in the house?
Occasionally goes inside. He used to a lot when I first got him, because obviously he was training then, so he needed to go inside and kind of just get used to things in his own time. So I would take him home and just let him off his lead rope, and he could just toddle around the house really, and go into the kitchen and have a look around, and I would just ring family and friends, and they'd say, yes, you can come round, and yes, you can bring Teddy, and it's just a good way of training him, really. Yeah. So he's quite used to going to places now, but He's been licensed for sort of the last 2 years, and he's visited lots and lots of places, so he's used to going out and about. Before having the donkeys, I was previously an experienced primary school teacher.
Wow.
And before that, I used to teach equestrian and riding for the disabled. And it was just kind of a way of combining the two things that I really love to do. So I now get to go into schools and still visit the children. We do educational talks and teach people how to care for the donkeys. We still get to go into school and spend time with these lovely boys. I'd asked around to looking for a new therapy donkey, and I particularly wanted a miniature donkey, just because there's lots of people who are not well enough to get up out of bed when we go to the care home visits mainly, and he's able to visit them in their rooms because he's so small. He can go alongside beds, and he just loves it, and he knows what he needs to do when he gets there. If people are in bed and they're not well enough to get up and reach across to him, he lays his head on the bed and he'll stretch across to try and reach them, and it's really lovely.
So what like, how did you get into like the wedding side of things with them?
Well, it was, first of all, somebody contacted us regarding a wedding, asking if we could go along, and it's just kind of gone from there, really. And a lot of interest in Teddy, particularly, wearing his pack saddle and carrying little favours, into places. So it's kind of just gone from there.
And do you or what wants to get some donkeys along, get some cool photos for the wedding? Like, how does that work for sort of what do the donkeys do? Like, where do you go? Like, are you kind of there for a certain amount of time, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really depends what the couple would want on the day. They could hire Teddy on his own, and obviously he wouldn't be available for rides. He would he's got a specially made sawtooth pack saddle, and he carries little mini wicker baskets. He can have flowers across the baskets that will match, obviously, the bride and groom's special day. We could have Mr. and Mrs. on the baskets. We've got lots of different alternatives for that. And as well as just a really good talking point, and I always find that everybody loves meeting them, adults, children. Everybody just makes a beeline for the donkeys. That we can give out favours, we can give out little gifts, packets of sweets, anything really you can think of that's light enough and safe for him to carry in his little baskets. And they are only small, so we can't carry anything big, but yeah, small things we can give out. And Teddy can work indoors as well as outdoors, because he usually attends all of our indoor visits. With him only being small, as you can see, he's down here, is just the size of a little dog. So if the event was indoors, he can actually walk around the tables led by myself, and distribute tables indoors. As well as his pack saddle, he wears a special upsy-daisy bag, so I'm sure you can guess what that's for, just in case of accidents. Our standard size donkeys like Joseph, Socks, Hobo, and Bandit, they all work outdoors, so we wouldn't take the standard donkeys indoors. They're just too big, really. But the other boys work outside. If you had sort of a beach-themed wedding, something like that, the standard donkeys can come along in traditional beach tack with their jingly bells and their names on their bridles. We can also offer rides at the wedding, but obviously that would only be to children 9 years and under. So obviously there's a strict age and weight limit there when it comes to rides. Sometimes people just hire the standard donkeys to come along because, it is a beach-themed event or special party, and although they're not even going to give rides, they just like them in, the traditional beach tack, and that's fine. We can do that. And again, just as much as Teddy, you can see they're both, they all like the attention and strokes, and it's what they're used to, really. And so,
So, like, as soon as I was like, oh my god, donkeys at weddings, I started like thinking about the kind of images that I would, try and get for a couple. and you know, you're talking about like beach themes, or maybe they're on like an estate type of venue, and they're out with the donkeys. Can they handle them in terms of, can they lead them?
Yes, yeah. What we would do is I could put sort of a lead rope on one side, they can lead the other, so obviously we wouldn't want to be in the photographs, so the couple can stand with them. The only thing we don't do is, when we're out and about, is feed them by hand, because the donkeys are therapy donkeys as well, and we visit lots of vulnerable people and young people. Donkeys can be quite greedy, so we try not to feed them by hand. They do get lots of treats, but we always give them from a bucket, so that's kind of the only thing we don't allow, really. And I know it's something that everybody asks, can we feed them? But we say no for that reason. But they do get their favourite treats, which are ginger biscuits, as soon as they're finished.
Are they really? Ginger biscuits?
Yeah, they absolutely love ginger biscuits, and thankfully during lockdown there hasn't been any restrictions on those.
Nice. And what are they like at a wedding? Like, are they quite like, ooh, like stroke me, or are they quite like chilled? Or
yeah, they are quite. We went to a wedding in Sunderland. I think it was about 2 years ago, and once the guests had all been outside to see them and they'd had the photographs taken, it was quite a small wedding. People were stopping, who like happened to be going past the hotel, and come and giving them a stroke. And as soon as the donkey seen people coming towards them, they were sort of trying to make a beeline for them as well, because they sort of didn't realise it was over, and they're used to that sort of being surrounded really by people, and when that's what they're used to, and they're used to all that fuss and attention, you know, that's what they look for all the time. So we've been giving them some extra cuddles whilst we've been in lockdown.
Do you kind of find, like, do you do set packages, or do you kind of tailor it to what the couple are looking for?
Yeah, we have a basic cost for weddings, but we'll go along really with whatever the couple want on the day. It's their special day, and as long as it's safe and the donkeys are going to be happy to do it, then that's okay with me. Obviously, if it was something that was going to go on for the whole day, then the donkeys would need breaks and that kind of thing. But most of the time, it's to go along for an hour or two, something like that.
And in terms of coverage, are you northeast based, or do you travel further afield?
Yeah, mainly in the northeast. Obviously, if there was somebody that really wanted us to go along, yeah, of course we would travel further. It would just be the travel costs really that would be incurred, that would make it a little bit more expensive if we were to go outside of the northeast.
Okay, and well, I will say thank you so much for joining us.
No problem.
And for video, and to meet the boys, and yeah, thank you, like, just a million times over.